And where that power? President Gay, via Yatugay, Lizagay, I say, oh, me amorai, and by you, I'm of my trade, of my trade, there, when you learn it goes away. And as I go, that Gianna, we say you, Papa Mora, get you up when anywhere, Momba Sivole, l'arrangeur national, c'est trop fort. We are glad that we want by say so when you are yeah. I want to say, do a baby, you go back on your Papa Yangita, petit, brother Fassoni, Kainaga, Pena Paya Posa go, Mambo Panjago, Apollo Akaway. One was a young café. We are for them one money up a clay you can. None just see one. What's the matter to your way? I think you're the one. And more. Nesseto, with this one for COVID, where they have it. Go on, yeah, I can't salute. Go get that to your way, I think you're the one. Emo, Nesseto, now with his old book, where they have it. Go on, you can get. Now, conquering your way, and your sound, Fabian. There you go. I do what you grab it to work on. There you go. Are you a no? Typo, that you know, and now we say you over. I want to yoke I need a boy. And yes, I'm going to buy them with Mwege. Hey, am I gay? What I guess me, I'm going to end it the well. Oh, ow. Typo, that you know, and now we say you over. So like it, I'm going on them. I ain't never went. Netoni and Rayo. You Opo Gleja say, oh yeah, I'm a walking about Kaidaka. When it goes to a Jacob, let you know halfway. I just know. This is what I say. Zaibo, yeah. You like do I name one by one name on tele by Potamu, Kanyada. Planning Papa, Pinagasia, Baka on Lage, the Buesi, the BSC, the Tonya Sito, you can not one. There was a bob was a dressy, Mambo, Palipo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. If I do a black guy, do it so say. I just want to lay a bad one out from your city, okay? Wait, Ivo, Saibo, Engage a pop and block where John B. Van Block. On the Kriana walk like a bad day, noir. It was a was. So, the one you're not really found, let us play. Saibo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I'm done it. Where are you? So I'm away. I know Russell. Can't play a gospel. South Africa, your fault, your way. And I'm for you, won't be and when one. I'm the Pope and Yagu. Don't feel it, I say, oh, Claudio. Say, if I can work with we are coming. Say, Bobo, that you know, and I will say you over. I'm a people, so need this room. Pamuka do not get that Siko Bala. Pabo do I say, Say, Posa do so look. Say, I say, oh, my you know. Can one day, yeah. Your family, you're the Monday now. Everyone I say, oh, my I'm a morada. Say, about that, you know, and I will say you. I wish I do rodeo, my so when you went. Saibo, Saibo, that young man now will take you. Move man down the Mary, return your man, Dr. Lou. But you know, I say, it's a mayo. That was the Yasu also more for you. I'm original, I say.
Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangé Eric Glodé. Le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais au grand jamais. Mobile Production. Abia dia au bois. Amunyadro. Moi to pierre. Moye, Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Ato Pierre dia wele. Pierre moye. Ah Pierre we. Ndato Pierre so prononcé. Ato Pierre dia wele. Akosia o. Moye. Pierre moye. Mosta bossa iko moye. Pierre di mo wele. Mandoye mo. Ah Pierre di mo wele. Mandoye mo. Pierre we. Ah dia wele. Pierre moye. La poche yo ji avere, so no juni emble. Mo bli amado let's play. Jamone chi bayone, ne. Mo waja chi bayone, ne. Ja, play one na kanyo po. Siabu tiena, de kanyo. Kanyo de koge se perdu de ya. Piero mo moye. Piero mo moye. Piero mo moye. Ogarwa oyawesa. Moye jiblo no piyon boba. Derbono. Ma boye bleye Piero we. Piero mo moye. Mon blé production. Oh Pierre mon blé production. Asa o clano. Ya wa gelo mo lo koje. Piero mo moye. Piero mo moye. Piero mo moye. Erico na Piero moye. Ah Shaliko na Piero moye. Ato Piero moye. Piero moye. Ah, tu agba moe. Vive con agba moe. Ah, tu agba moe. Piero we. Ah, Piero tu agba moe. Piero we. Ah, Piero moye. Piero moye. Kayo padà we, nembo kango. Nembo kango. Ah, tideji. Ah, tideji we. Ah, mara tidie me o. Awo. Bumba kari to kuri to wake. Asa o made. Piero moye. Piero moye. Ese sonia wutie. Ase o. Mama sable ye Angela Wene. Ye bobo pangla ye Angela Wene. Nama bobo pangla ye Angela Wene. Angela je tariaji o. Moye ashalo moye. Ao mama wo kebra. Chia mama kebra de weye wu. Ha sheze ma cheki. Shado mama sheze taniaji o. Mada Nicola memotie ya. Mada Nicola yeju taniaji. Nicola preto yamo otu achie. Na ipo de weye. When I'm flashing, I moye, yaro moye, 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 yaro moye, moye, ale, moye.
tupela masumu ya mokili fungola motema oye mama munwe kumba oye mama munwe kumba nyonso zali kolo baba yebisinga nyonso zali kolo bana bato bayebisinga olobi tenga nalingi yo te mama olobi tenga na neglige yo alors que tovandinga na yo mingi mama okolisinga nga mpe nakolisi yo tokoli elongo tango ya mpasi oye.
Good evening, folks. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to welcome all of you again this evening. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have you with us here this evening. We appreciate it. Those of you that we missed the other day, those of you that were asking for us, we're back. We want to thank the CEO, Mr. Francis Nyonso, for making an announcement to the folks that we were not going to be able to make it that particular day. I think it was Monday. So we apologize, but I think the CEO has done his job. That's why he's getting big bucks. He's getting paid lots and lots of money, like almost $20,000 from LPR. Did I say $20,000 or 20 cents? Welcome, folks. Safety. Those of you that are joining us the first time, this is what we do here on LIBERIA Public Radio. Sam Sinto. I'm on again tonight. This is what we do here on LIBERIA Public Radio on a very serious note on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So we will be doing that for a while until our brother Nat is bereaved, so he won't be able to come on Saturday. So we decided to utilize that time to come on very early morning Saturday here at our time. To be honest with you, safety. The summer is here. The summer is as we speak right now. It's hot in here. I got everything's going on in here, but it's hot in Sacramento. In my studio, I'm okay. But once I step out, that's it. It's hot. So I told you this coming summer, we will do our best to give you some safety tips with respect to heat-related issues. Those of you that have old folks in a home, we will do our best to give you some information. And all of the information that we're going to be giving you, they are all can be found on YouTube. They're not something that Sam Sinto is going to make up. The only thing that you most likely will not find on YouTube is the video that I presented to you here some time ago. Videos that were taken when I went to Liberia. That was my own personal video. So you won't be able to see on YouTube until I pull it up there. So we'll also want to tell you by this time, you hopefully have taken care of your antifreeze. Hopefully have taken care of your oil if you need to change oil. Hopefully you have taken care of your windshield wiper, the blade, and the fluid itself. Okay? Because if you have a good blade, now believe me, there will be some raining coming here very soon. So those of you that live in the East Coast, when it's raining hard. And sometimes you go by the truck passed by, you splash the heavy water on your windshield. If you don't have a good blade, you have a blade like Sam Sinto back when he was in school. One of them, sometimes I just put my hand up and wipe it. That's okay. I'm not doing it anymore. But I'm just telling you, you need to have blades that are powerful to do one swipe and everything comes out. That's the kinds of stuff you're going to be needing. But whatever you can afford, all I'm asking is to have safety in mind. Always have blanket in your car. Have water in your car. Have flashlights in your car. But then he said, Mr. Tor, these cell phone, the smartphone now, they all have lights in it. Yes. But guess what? They run on batteries. So what happens if you're involved into something that you're no longer able to generate energy from your car? What do you do now? And your battery is almost dead, and you're going to be over there for almost 2-3 hours. You don't know. I'm not God. You're not God either. So you prepare yourself. That's the point that I'm trying to make here this afternoon, folks. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. Take care of your car. and your car will take care of you. One of the things you need to know when I bring these issues up about having water, flashlight, and blankets in the car with you, because if you're on the highway driving, the off and on ramps, there's a distance between them. Sometimes 3 miles, 3 point something miles maybe. Okay, so those are things you have to be very careful of. Okay, because if you get stopped in between, you can't walk to come by. You can, but it's gonna be a long way. So you want to make sure these things are taken care of. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Another thing you do, they have what they call 3-second rule when you're driving. You mark a spot ahead of yourself. Say you're doing 70 miles an hour. You mark a spot ahead of yourself. Okay. And as you're moving, you mark the spot. In 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, you should be at that spot. That's your 3-second rule. Between the car ahead of you and your car. That's the distance you need to. It's a safe distance. So in case anything happens, you will be able to have your reaction time. And I'm not going to go into all that. Face it, not saying here tonight. Your reaction time, all those kinds of stuff, they take into effect. The friction of the roll and the tire, all of those things comes to play. So you have, but I'm not going to calculate for this. I'm not going to say all of that. I'm just telling you this thing take time. For example, something happened way ahead of you. For your brain to recognize the problem ahead of you and tell your body to lift the foot off of the gas and put it on the brakes. It takes time. It takes time. Reflex. And the older, did I say, oh, I mean young, the younger you are like me, the difficult it is to have that flat reflex coming up. So anyway, let's move on. Folks, welcome on LIBERIA Public Radio. There's a lot of things here. In fact, before I leave, there was a young lady posted on 2 or 3 days ago about an accident that she was involved in. And one of the things that I noticed in her write-ups, she said she most likely was doing a 70 mile approaching a curve. And there was an accident ahead of her. 70 miles an hour approaching a curve. I don't know what kind of curve it is, but if even on the highway, 70 miles an hour, they have speed limit. And I don't know if the radius of the curve, so I'm not going to make comments on it. But even if you're approaching curve, you have to slow down. But for her, the curve she's talking about, she described it, not to notice an accident and cars ahead of us have already stopped without her noticing. So that curve is deep. It's not a flat curve. Or even if it is flat curve, I'm sure, I don't know where it is, but the sight distance must be a problem. But in order to have a problem with a sight distance or the curve must have been deep. Okay? Because I don't see people putting a hill in a flat curve and leaving the hill in there. Now, they order the designer to make sure they take care of the sight distance. Okay? So if you're doing 70 miles an hour approaching a curve, then you have an issue. Slow down. Beautiful girl like that could have gotten hurt seriously. But as God could have it, she's okay. And we thank God for that. And those are some of the things that when I'm talking about safety, those of you, we all do, all of us, if you have somewhere to go, oh, the LIBERIA people, they don't have nothing, I'm ready yet. And then you try to procrastinate until time catching up with you, then you want to speed. Leave at least, if you have to be somewhere, say 5 o'clock p.m., whatever time, 5 o'clock, I just say 5 o'clock. Leave the house, depends on the distance. But at least if it's 50 miles radius, whatever, I'm just being ridiculous here. But at least give yourself 15, 20, 45 minutes the most. So because you don't know, once you get out of your house on the road, you're no longer in control of the surrounding. Because you're not telling the people how to drive. You're not responsible for somebody else being involved in an accident. Okay? So if there's an accident ahead of you that slows you down, you're going to be slowing down in the traffic. It's going to slow you down time-wise. So, but if you have enough time, even if you slow down, you still have enough time that immediately after you pass the scene, you're not going to be speeding up. Speed car, they don't mix. Just like drinking and driving, they don't make. So I'm just telling you this afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, what Samson told Liberian Public Radio. This is what we do here on Liberian Public Radio. We come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and talk about issues affecting our folks. Tonight program is gonna be a little bit interesting. I'm telling you. Just to make a point, I'm gonna play you a clip of a movie. Okay, what is happening right now in Liberia? I laugh about it now, but it's not going well with all of us. Okay, the situation in Liberia right now. Okay, the government Republic of Liberia, again, the way they're approaching the critics, for me, it doesn't bode well because they told us that they were going to do things differently. And according to an article that I read today, that the president, according to the article, I'm not too sure how true that is, but the president made a statement that those who are criticizing are considered to be enemy of the state. If that's true, then that's low bar. That's not something that I would take sitting down. Okay. Now, the issue that is affecting all of us is this. You have to understand what this president is coming from. Okay. And let me see if I can put picture of the president up here. I can't be talking and not put a president picture up. That's not right. Where? Okay. Just give me a minute. I mean, we have to be respectful here. You can't just talk about the president without putting any kind of picture up. That's not right. This man is elected. He's our president. We must respect him. I can't be talking about him and not put his picture up. This is just not right. I apologize. Strongly apologize. He's not running a banana republic. He's the president of the Republic of Liberia. His picture, when I talk about him, I must put his picture up. I have to, for me to be credible of what I'm talking about. Okay? This is President Josh Weah. I'm sorry, I didn't have the time to write the names, but you know who he is. This is President Josh Weah. Okay, so whenever we come on here try to do these things, we have to have his picture up, and I know Mr. So does all the time. So I apologize. I know Mr. So gonna punish me for this, but I apologize. Anyway, as long as I'm truthful and say I'm sorry, I bring any kind of punishment on, it really doesn't matter anymore. But anyway, that's our president, President Joshua, and his statement was that, according to the paper that I read, that he said those who are criticizing are enemy of the state. For me, that's not right. Okay, if they told us, the CDC-led government told us when they were running that they would do things differently, and the funny part about it, about 2 or 3 weeks ago or some time ago, the president submitted a bill to the legislature to modify some sort of article that is in the Constitution that tend to punish people for expressing themselves. And he's saying that's not right. But after saying that, to come back again to say those who are criticizing, those who want to be free, to speak freely, they are the enemy of the state. So again, for me, that's being emotional because I don't believe that President Weah will stand publicly and truly believe within himself that people who criticize his government are enemy of the state. I don't believe that. I just don't believe. That's my opinion, but I just don't believe that. And if he has to do it over again, I bet you he will change the tone. He's not going to say that. However, another interesting thing that happened this week, there was a guy that have his own show, of course. I'm not going to call people names because I don't want to do that. But in his podcast, he mentioned that the seditions, those who pretend to be speaking for CDC-led government, are not doing a good job. According to him, they are rude, condescending, and completely lack of respect for the Liberian people, according to him. I agree with that. Because if I'm the one in charge to respond to these kinds of stuff, my tone will not be harsh, because these people have the responsibility to criticize. These people are just as Liberian as any other person. If they see something that is not right, it is their responsibility, it's their job to criticize. Left with us, those of us who believe what the president is doing is right, we must also, with respect, continue to defend whatever it is that we want to defend, but not to the point of insulting people, not to the point of coming across as being condescending to those who are criticizing. Because if we do that, I told you guys before, if we do that, if we don't find a middle ground, we're not going to go anywhere. You got 6 years to go. For me, I say 12 years. Yeah, you can slap me around. Okay. For me, I say 12 years. But you're always going to be attacking people who criticize you within the next 12 years? It's not possible. Sooner or later, you're going to get tired. So at this point, you try to put yourself in a position where all of us, I say we're learning, because this is the first time the president we are becoming president. So he has no presidential experience before coming to the office. Myself, this is my first time talking about President Weah, because I don't have no experience with President Weah in conversation and things like that. I've been on LPR for a long time. But you see what I'm talking about? So all of us are in a learning stage. People will make mistakes. People will say something. But I think those of us that perhaps tend to say, okay, what the president is doing, perhaps he's right. And if he's wrong, we point it out. But we must do so with responsibility. We must do so with respect. Because you can't come across as being condescending to those brothers and sisters, as though they have no right whatsoever to talk about. If you approach the situation like that, you're going to be defeated. Because there's no way you're going to shut your mouth. In fact, I will predict the more you talk about them, the more you become rude to them. They themselves will be rude to you. And where do we go? Conversations nowhere. As a result of this kinds of engagement that is going on between the government and people, right now, those of us that are in the Facebook, TV business, those of us that respect ourselves and talk on an intellectual level, are being drowned out by voices that insult people, by voices that insult people, mom, by voices that insult individual, because you disagree with the person's policy. The policy which is generated by the people. If you disagree with it, what the person man got to do with it? Nothing. But because of the kinds of response that they are getting from the government people, they think that they're higher. So how do they get more audience to be more ridiculous? I'm giving an example. What's my number right now? 23. But I bet you, if I were to go on a tirade of insulting in less than 2 seconds, my number will be over 200. I'm not going to do that because I want people to watch me, to degrade myself, to put myself to a position that I'm not able to redeem myself. In order for you, I told you the last time, I will say again, in order for you to insult, to curse somebody, I forget insult that big English, to curse somebody, you got to put yourself in a position, a lower position. Because that's the only kind of place you can be in order to insult properly. Because once you're there, you cannot insult somebody man and be smiling at the time. It's not possible. You're going to have to make a face, an angry face, just because you disagree with somebody's policy. And we're going to be doing this. So I'm saying the way the people are responding to those of us that are on TV, those of us that try to do our best to talk about intellectual stuff, we might not agree with each other, but we don't curse each other. Okay? But we've been drowned out by those on the fringe. Because I'm not too sure why Liberians respond to them so, with such a huge numbers. These people are not giving you something, my opinion. They're not giving you something that you're going to learn from. They're not giving you information, my opinion, that perhaps you yourself can stand on and go to a public engagement and able to repeat those things. They're not giving you anything. Can you go to a party and talk about how you enjoy this man cussing somebody ma or this woman cussing somebody ma? Can you say that in public? And here's the thing here. Once that show is done, because in order for them to continue to do that, they put themselves at a certain stage. And after it's done, they have to wind down. They're not going to carry that kind of behavior in a place where they live, where they have kids, young people, and stuff like that. They're going to have to wind down and bring themselves back to their real self, the civilized self, before they get to a gathering. Why do I have to change myself like that? For what reason? Because I don't agree with a policy. If I don't agree with a policy, I should be able to express myself without insulting anybody. I don't have to do that. I don't need to do that. So those of us that are in this business, I think we need to step in, not to argue with those who are going to be insulting. You see, right now we're going to be fighting. We're going to be fighting over a specific crowd. Because there are some intellectuals that try to gravitate towards those type of behavior as well. Because they think they can get better news from there. And I hate to tell you, you're not going to get better news from that. And as a result, look on the Facebook page. In a daytime, you have 14, 15 people carrying on live. Because they're still looking for something. They're looking for someone to give them something that they can gravitate towards. They go here, somebody cussing somebody. They go here, the person not even talking the true stuff. So they're debating themselves. Conflicted people we are. And this thing is giving us problem. Can we continue with this kind of attitude within the next 6 years? I say 12. I say 12. I say 12. Within the next 12 years, we're going to be exhausted. We're going to be so exhausted, yelling and screaming, cussing each other. You can't do it every day. So, but here's the bad news about that. The people that are there, let me make the point very quickly. Those who also are insulting, the process is wrong, but their engagement, they also have the responsibility. They also are Liberian. They also have something in mind to cause them to be to where they are. So you can't completely discard them. But we must do our best to encourage them. Since they're going to use that type of platform, let's encourage them to say, look, my brother, look at the kind of numbers you have. When you come on, 200-300 people come on to watch you. And some of them go on there to plead with them to say, please, I like your show. But I got little children. When you're cussing like that, it's difficult, but I want to watch you. So we have to let them know how it is that their voice means a lot. But not to insult and use words that are so bad. Because that definitely pollute the conversation. And that's not what we want to do. So let me go back on this here again. I'm saying again, the situation's been happening a few days from the government of Liberia. I think the other day I also stated this, that the way the government continue to explain the process, it's not giving them any room to play around. The educational process, if that's what it's supposed to be, it's not the way to go. The time for election is over. You got the power. Exercise it. Don't exercise people because they disagree with your view. I'll give you an example. I think yesterday, I also read today that Cummings, former presidential candidate Cummings, criticized, he's an opposition member of our society. Genuinely, he was a standard bearer. The election that brought you to power, he was going against you. So he's still here. He's telling Liberian people, I'm here. He's trying to prepare himself for this next 6 years. He's going to look at you. If you make mistake, he will grab on it and criticize you. So every little criticism that's going to come from each of the politicians in Liberia that perhaps feel that they need to say something, you're going to go, for example, the press secretary, what I've read, that how they call it, the comments was a tourist. They want patriot. They don't want tourists. He's a Liberian, for Christ's sake. Then, of course, Eugene Falcon, if you watch his video, where he said the man was in, how do you call it, Ghana, Nigeria, and Totman, who they said they planted with CDC. You mean CDC are so gullible that they're going to allow people to be planted in a mix, and that person get to be all the way to the almost become president in a mix? You mean you guys are not capable of resisting that kind of stuff? You recognize it, or you just recognize that? But anyway, let me leave that one. I'll deal with that later. But he said this guy was in Nigeria and he didn't go to the refugee camp. Good. But that does not negate the fact that he's a Liberian. And the fact that he's qualified. You got supreme. This is what I don't understand. The executive branch only want to befriend or only want to portray the legislature as the only other type of government entity in Liberia. No, you got the Supreme Court. If somebody is saying something that is not right, you can challenge that person to bring the Supreme Court in there, bring the judicial branch in there. That's how you strengthen the society. Bring these things in, let the Supreme Court or whatever court that is there, let them step in. If you sue me and I'm found guilty, I must have the ability to take appeal and go up higher. That's the way we strengthen the society. That's the way we strengthen each of the entities in the country. But we hear somebody criticize. That's his duty. He's free to do so. You guys just submitted a bill the other day. And you're saying the man, because are you telling me that because this man was in Nigeria and never went to the refugee camp, therefore, you see where I'm going with this? You see where the therefore going? That's something we can't do. If you're going to disabuse him of things that he doesn't know, get on with the point. This is how I would have explained myself. Brother Cummings, thank you very much for your involvement. We really do appreciate that. But as you correctly stated, you said you don't know, which I truly believe. Maybe after the election, perhaps you don't understand. But this government, this George Weah-led government, we have a plan. We have A, B, C, and start enumerating your plans, what your plans are. Perhaps he genuinely doesn't know. That's how you disabuse somebody of what you know that the person don't know. But when you come across like that, I keep telling you guys, not every Liberian have the sophistication to be able to discern who is being rude and who is not. Our culture, how do you talk to people in our culture? When you read the Mayplow, you do like this. Liberian boy, they slap their finger and their voice loud. If you're conversing with somebody you try to change the tone of your voice. For now, you know, my people, they think here, there are something we're doing that we learn you. We know the thing. Kumi, you can't, you say you don't know. My man, let me tell you a little bit thing you say you don't know. The government, the CDC government, look at the kind of loan we got. Look, even though people say the loan, but look what we're doing. All we're concentrating on is make sure we bring roll here. What is it that you think we're not capable of doing? You started that thing, you said, Joy, we ain't know anything. The man president now. When you're going to stop the kind of thing? My man, you come on board, let's work together, man. You see what I'm doing? Those who have the sophistication among us will know that I just put his statement down. Not only did I not agree with him, but I also took him back to say people used to say, President, we don't know anything. Now look what he's doing. But if I could, yes, I want to remind you that since you started, you left from here, we haven't seen you. Now you have the audacity to come here and try to criticize us. Say the president and the CDC government, they probably don't know what. What do you know? Do you know what we know? Where we going? Nowhere. 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 That's a movie. I'm gonna be playing that here. Let me just narrate the movie a little bit, and then I can play it. Movie came out back in I think 1992. It's called A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson, what's his name, Tom Cruise, and Kevin Bacon, and a few other people you will recognize. In fact, one of the beautiful lady, see Demi Moore. She also is in there. But this movie, it's very interesting. I love that movie. And it seemed to me, now this movie, you can flip it both sides and it suit our situation. Let me argue a little bit on the government side, then I will come back and argue from the opposition perspective. I can do both. Sam Sinto. I'm on to give this something to work. So if you miss this one, you're going to miss something else. I love it when I do. I have the ability to flip both sides. So let's look at it from the government perspective. This movie. First, before I take the government, let me give you a little bit of background of the movie. So the movie, the corner, Jessup, they call him. He has his troop stationed in Guantanamo. Guantanamo is based in Cuba. Okay, I don't know how they got a base there. Don't ask me. But anyway, they're based in Cuba, so they're there to protect the shoreline of Liberia, of America. But this guy, the way he trained his people so they can be tough, the government said no. We're not going to do any kind of training that because that's abusing fellow citizens. So he decided he's going to keep it secret. Okay. So he had few people, under his wing that continue to do this illegal practice. Okay. Okay. So they go out, people come in, the young recruit come in, they give them, they call it co-rare, where they tell you if you break out, if you're not running fast enough, they scrub you with brushes and things. They do all kind of nasty things to you. Okay. In fact, one of them, they put this, according to the story, the picture in the movie, they put glue in his hand because he was running one time with a gun and he dropped his gun. When you do that, you slow the squad down. So they put glue in your hand and he say, ever since then, he dropped his gun. But anyway, so one young man, Santiago, he was sick. He was not that well, but he was able to go to the Marine, but he couldn't keep up. So he asked his superior to transfer him. They were not listening to him. So he wrote to the Congress. He wanted to be transferred. I'm telling you, this is a good movie. Try and watch it. They call it Feel Good Man. But anyway, so Colonel Jefferson said what the young man did, he bringing shame to his people. So this kid need to be trained. They want to train him. They want to get him cold red. They stuck red in his mouth. He died. The two young people that were responsible were giving order that was given to them from the corner, the guy in charge of the whole thing. So the corner They put these two young people on trial. So the young people said, we didn't do it by ourselves. They gave us order, and we're just following order. So anyway, the coroner came to testify. That's the end part. It's a very interesting thing. The question was, you told us that you were about to transfer this young man, Santiago. So how is it that the book is showing that he's there, he's not going anywhere? And the coroner got mad to say, look, and I'm just paraphrasing because I'm going to be playing it, to say, look, I am in charge. You need me in this position to save you, to guide you, to provide freedom. So that when you're traveling at night, you don't have to worry about. We out here doing things for you. So whatever way we're doing it, you should be grateful. I'm speaking. Now let's put that from the perspective of the government now. The CDC-led government. They're telling people, don't criticize us. We're bringing you people. There's no roads here in Liberia. We're putting roads here. However way we go about bringing the road, you should be grateful that we're providing the kinds of services. Since 170 some years, you got no good road. But here I am, young man like myself. I'm supposed to be somewhere with my friend there, but I'm here working. I'm bringing loan, begging people, sacrificing my integrity to go and beg people to borrow us money so I can put road down. You should be happy. Whether code of conduct is and I'm just paraphrasing. Please don't say this is what the government said. I'm just paraphrasing. Whether the code of conduct is being violated or not, you should be thankful. Don't question me. That's what it meant. Let's go back to the opposition. The opposition is saying, yes, we agree. You have the right. Because that's your job. You're the president. But we want you to tell us the truth. We want to know how these things are happening. Don't just come out here and tell us this and that, and we expect us to accept it and run with it. Tell us the truth. Let's watch the movie. Samson told the guy with no glasses this afternoon. But before that, let me put this picture up of the president. Okay, of the president during the election. The reason I'm putting the picture, I want you to sympathize with his position. Because before the election, President Weah traveled all over the country, and he saw how bad the roads were. And to him, how do I expect my people to move from one place to another? We have to get roads. So he's going to get roads. He's going to get money so that they will build the roads. And here we are, Samson Toh, calling himself educated person. Thinking, say, okay, well, you get the money, but you didn't go through the proper channel. You're violating the code of conduct. And some of his supporters are saying that you're coming again, your book business, you're coming again. You're in America over there, every time all the trouble that can start here come from your side, you're coming again with the code of conduct business. Where were you when President Ellen was violating the code of conduct? You say anything? The man bringing money for us to fix road. You're not doing it because he's deeply ingrained himself to the road business in Liberia. However, since he also knows that the Republic of Liberia, he's not running a banana republic. He has law. Those laws must be respected in order to build up the capacity of each of the entity. You know what? I'm not too sure about the law in Liberia, but let's just suppose why a few citizens put together and take this man to the Supreme Court that he has violated these rules. First thing the Supreme Court, if they think these people have a standing, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go ahead and put a hold on all of the activities of these loans until the case is adjudicated. Wow, Samson to adjudicate. I'm amazed myself sometimes. Let me get out of this. What? Yeah. Let me get out. I see. But I don't know on a very serious note. Folks, I just tell you, you see this. Let's now watch. This is the very end. John Nicholson is telling Liberia, not Liberia, but America, to say you need me on this war. You want me on this war. Let's watch. Samson Toh, Liberian Public Radio.
Don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives, and my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Okay, folks, that's a movie. It's called Feel Good Man. Okay, and if you follow this movie, even though it's a movie, but these are kinds of stuff that are playing out in real life right now. Because after the president have invested so much of himself into the road network in Liberia, because during the election he traveled those places, he felt that people cannot move without road network. You need him on that wall. You want him on that wall. I'm just paraphrasing. So he's saying, paraphrasing, I haven't talked to the president, I'm just telling you, perhaps, why you guys criticizing me, cussing and things like that? All that I'm trying, I think a few days ago he said that, all that I'm trying to do is to get better life in this country. However, and this is why those that are surrounding the president are failing him big time. Big time. You think, let's be honest with ourselves. If the president have gone through the proper channel, what everybody's crying for, the PCC, whatever, you think he's not going to secure the loan? He's going to get it. It's the same type of situation where he has gone during the election and selected Madam Taylor. Whether with Madam Taylor or no Madam Taylor, president, we are going to be president, no matter what. Because people, the young people that are in majority, that's who they want. And there's nothing you can do about it. And we saw that. So it's the same situation here. For me, in my opinion, that is, the political capital that he's going to need in the future, he's spending them here with no thinking twice about the whole thing. Because there will come time that he will really need those political capital that he's spending right now. Okay? Because after the first year, 2 years, 3 years, and nothing good is happening. You understand? People will start questioning. But if you're going through this process, by going through the legal process, not only are you doing it legally, but you're also educating the people that are around you. You're also telling these people, look, we should care how we get this loan. The money is not going to the president, we are pocket. So why are we not going through the proper channel? You think the PCC would deny that this in Liberia? Because everybody knows exactly how bad the road situation is in Liberia. In fact, I don't need to talk much. Just recently, the people wrote the president, go borrow more. In that go borrow more, they didn't say follow the right law. They just say go borrow more. Knowing full well their brothers and sisters are crying to say the process is not good. Say go borrow more, but do it legally. Yeah. What's about this? Why didn't you ask him to do this legally? So I think if the president, like when he was in Ganta, or I think it was in Ganta or Banga somewhere, when he was making that statement, if he can continue to explain to people, sometimes when you watch President Weah, just talking, you tend to understand. There was an incident as he was talking, and I too, I'm an environmental person. As he was talking, there was this bug that was flying all over. Go and watch that video. And people try to kill it. And one of them came close to him. One of the fly or bug came close to him. And the guy he said, no, leave it alone. That my protector. Of course, he was joking. But basically, what the comment he made that got my interest, got my attention was this. How will you feel if somebody running behind you all day trying to kill you? A buck. He's comparing it with people. That means there's certain deeper aspect of President Weah that we haven't seen yet. If we do it right with this young man, Liberia, you will not regret it. You will not regret it. But if you keep pushing him away, cussing and this and that, he's a young man. You have to understand that. He watches Facebook as well. You cussing his family. Think the yay. So then those that are not there for the interest of the country, say, come, we'll help you. And then they isolate him from you now. And then there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is go demonstrate. And as you demonstrate, even if it's peaceful, the other investors all over the world, they say, our country not safe, man. The people just coming from war every day, they're just making noise. They're not coming in. And this is why I said the elite of the country that are not that were not the supporter of George, we are now that he has won. These people need to put their arms around, criticizing if something needs to be said that is enough. Show him what you know. Sooner or later, all of these people that are around President, we are making all these noise. They don't have that kind of energy to keep up. So as long as we allow these French to be cussing and carrying on and things like that, these people are going to continue to take a defensive position. And then we're not going to be able to understand each other. The loan that they're going to give this Burkinabe that are coming to Liberia to build road, have we had any opportunity to have a discussion with the Liberian engineers? To say, you're coming here, we already have Liberian engineers on ground. Can you help us to do the capacity building here? Where is it? When would that kinds of a conversation start? By insulting and the president going and making it public that people cussing me or people cussing. You know what it takes for him to come public and make that kind of announcement? Are people cussing? That means all the other stuff that he has to talk about. I'm just giving an example. People cussing. People cussing. Part of the conversation. If you are somebody in a gathering where the president is supposed to give some information, he said people cussing. What part you would take? You would take the one where he trying to tell you, so, okay, they roll here, you're going to need drainage here, they one here, you're going to need this, and which one you would take in Liberia? The people who don't even speak good English, say people cussing. Oh, president said people cussing. You think they will talk about roll? So then they defeat the purpose of our goodwill. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. I'm just giving it to you as I see it. So I say it again. Please, let us have a conversation about our country. We all are entitled to express ourselves, but we're not entitled to cuss people. You're not entitled to that. You're entitled to express your disagreement with the policy, but you're not entitled to cuss. And those of you that have these Facebook entertainment or media, whatever you want to call yourself, and you have 200-300 people following you, use that platform to educate our brothers and sisters. You know, here's what most of you don't understand. Maybe too much. That's such a big word. Most of you don't understand. No, maybe. Something too. You saw how I wake up myself out of that one. I love it. Maybe most of you don't understand. You see, when I've used that word, maybe, that put me out of a position of being able to come and defend myself tomorrow. And you said no. I said maybe. Okay, but let's be serious. We're just coming from a war. How many of us are still traumatized? How many of us day and night still have the nightmare of hearing our brothers crying, hearing our son, hearing our moms, hearing our sister crying for help, and there's nothing we could do? There are some people among us that saw their relatives being killed right before them, and they didn't say nothing. How you think that person is living right now? Think about it. Think about it. So this whole criticism business is not just something to take lightly. Perhaps some of us have a deep-seated resentment of anything government. So if we're going to reply to these type of people who perhaps might have problem we don't know, you can't just get and brush everything, one brush everybody like that. Talk to us. You're in a government position. Talk to us. I have not heard one day public work to go and explain to Eugene Farquhar, because he's not an engineer and I gave him that, but he can explain, for him to explain the process of the road construction. I have not heard public work to come out to tell her exactly what is the working day, because the president said 3 years. Can you seriously build a decent road in 3 years? A road that you have to design and then construct in 3 years. In 3 years. I am in a design business. I am in a design business. You can't do a decent road that, even if it's the kinds of distance they want, Tapeta to Zwedru, Town, let's just say Town to BI, 10 miles or 10 kilometers, whatever. You can't even do it in 3 years. No. Because here's what you're going to do. And these are some of the things that there's other people taking away from us. Those of us that want to come and educate our people through this process of bringing in the road business, to say this is what it's going to take. I've already taken almost half hour to an hour explaining, begging people not to cuss. I'm just going to take the other time now to try to talk about folks, if you notice something though, my glasses, the real glasses are broken. They're broken. So I'm using the other pair that are way past that now. Okay. Who's this one? Okay. But anyway, so I'm also using this time to explain. Now I'm going to talk about it. The president spoke on that video that I told you about. He told Clyde Langley, who is the deputy director for the technical affairs. He said he want to build those roads in 3 years. Which one? forget about the coastal road. Yeah, you can build road in 3 years. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not possible. But the length that you're talking about to build it in 3 years, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Okay? Those of you that live in Liberia, the red light to Cloudtown Road or whatever road, Freeport Road, how long does it take? How long the Japanese have been doing that? Think about it. And you're talking about roads that most likely doesn't even have drainage. In order for you to do it, you have to design it. In order for you to design, you have to survey it. In the process of surveying, you got to establish right of way. There's a lot more involved than just say I'm going to give you road in 3 years. That's not possible. Again, it depends on what kinds of road you want to put down. If you want to put a road down that perhaps in 2 years later will be nothing but mud, you can do it in 3 years. But if you want to put road down, knowing our soil, you have to do a lot more than just putting the road down. You have to try to provide adequate drainage so that the road will be there for a while. Okay? And especially if you're taking, even if you decide you want to use the same alignment, 3 years, maybe, but I just don't see it. But the deputy minister stood there today. He didn't say anything. He accepted it. Then if he doesn't finish the work in 3 years, and President Weah get angry with him, then he said, "Well, you expect the road to be done?" Why didn't you start that conversation from the beginning? Why have the president under the impression that you can do it in 3 years when you know fully well, Cloud Landry, that you can't build a decent road in 3 years? You know that. But then I don't blame him. You know, landscape architect, they come at last when we're finished with all our design, construction, then they come and fix it and put tree and things like that. So that planting tree, I can do that in 3 years myself. So those are the kinds of stuff when we're talking about finding qualified people. And I'm not saying Cloud Landry is not qualified. He's been doing this thing for a while now. But if you let the president put him under the impression that you can build a road, those 2 or 3 roads that you're talking about in 3 years, then you're deceiving the man. Even Bunga, whatever the guy that coming from Burkina Faso, he will tell you can't build a thing in 3 years unless you're not prepared to bring the road to standard, up to standard. Okay? But you're talking, road, what I'm talking about, what do I have in mind? I have in mind a right of way. Having a right of way from one end to another, maybe 160 feet. Okay? So, 2 lane, are you talking 2 lane for, 1 lane going to separation of lane? No, I don't think that's what I have in mind. So just let's say one flat alignment, and you have one car coming, the other car going on the same road, just like Carter Morea Highway. If you're going to do that, if you want to build it decently, you're not going to be able to do it in 3 years because some of those areas are bad. And besides that, think about it. 6-month dry season, 6-month rainy season. So the 1 year, that's 6 months. 2 year, that 1 year. 3 year, that 1.5 year. These people, they're killing me, When the man come out and say, look, because I just truly believe that Clan Landry never sat with the president to give him a breakdown. Because if the president's saying 3 years, you're not going to construct anything in the rainy season. So what is he talking about 3 years? 3 years of dry season? You see what I'm going with this? So if you know these things, those are the things that comes to mind immediately. The president he didn't just start making a pronouncement right now. It's been on his mind. So you go and visit the president. Mr. President, What do you want us to do? Give it to the president as it is. Be truthful. So at least if he has some good information, he can make some better judgment than to come out and say 3 years the road going to be finished. The first year, 6 months. The other 6 months is going to be raining. You're definitely not going to do any kind of construction work in the rainy season. The second year, 6 months. That's 1 year. Now, one year of dry season. The third year, 6 months. That's 1.5 years of dry season. You're going to be able to construct the road. Now, if they say 6 years, and out of that 6, 3 of those going to be for construction, now you're talking. But if you don't know these things, you sit down and cross your leg because the president called your name. Yeah. You're fooling yourself. My goodness. A true engineer, you're going to say, I'm an engineer. What are you going to do to me? You fire me, I'll go somewhere and go faster. But I must be truthful with you. Mr. President, what 3 years you talking about, man? Because here's the thing. The road, they're talking about paving, asphalt paving. Forget asphalt. Let's use quota. Quota. So like I said, I will do my best one of these days to do a road design. People say, oh, Mr. Toll, you just talk too much. You don't want to go on. Please, go on and go fight with the people. Can you imagine me telling Cloud Landry, man, this thing, you can't tell the president that? And man, start yelling and screaming because he's deputy minister. Think, oh, why you can't for? You think you're smarter than me? He can't argue. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Okay? So what happened? These people accuse me, Mr. Toll, you just, all you do, you all talk. You don't know action. Ask the people in Alliance. I was there the last time teaching. I can do that. But the point, on a very serious, the point that I'm trying to make here, it's not like Cloud Landry is not qualified. I'm not concerned with his qualification. What I am concerned with is his truthfulness. Not that he's lying, but he's not saying anything. If he is the president will not make the kinds of statement. Because here's the thing about road. I'm just giving you basic road construction. Basic road construction. First of all, you get in the area, you finish doing your survey. Then you go do your design. And the design take time. There are 2-3 days design we're talking about. Even the road from 10 kilometers from Town to the BI place there. There are 2-3 day design. Okay? So after your design, let's just say they're rushing you. So your design most likely take 6-7 months to do a design. Because the designing of those roads, they're not just something to alone sitting down and drawing and say, yeah. No. I get my stuff done. I pass it on to somebody else to review. So by the time we get to construction, we all know exactly what we're talking about. And not only the design. You got environmental issues to take care of. And I'll be ridiculous. To you, it sounds ridiculous, but here is that. What happened to all the frogs? What happened to the snakes? What happened to the birds? Or they're not living thing? Okay. So you're building that one. From Town to Bia, you got people living on both sides of the road. How do you protect the people from crossing the road? Jesus Christ. What is the safety aspect of this road you're going to put down? What is the speed limit that you're going to design for? What's about those trees, big trees? How you cut them down? What are you going to do with them? This thing is not just one day stuff. You need to be able to understand what the process of a road construction is involving. There's a lot more. And as far as the president is concerned, he likes to have a standard, up to standard road. Astro design, I would say. Okay? If you go and look at those people road, they already done the design, the gaining. I stand, how long does it take? A 3-year job? First of all, these people, they got to be killing me. The mobilization, the equipment the guy going to take from, you people, you're playing with 18 year old. You're really playing with 18. The equipment that you're going to take, whether they're in Guinea already, that's fine. Maybe you're going to get it from Guinea to come to Grand Jide. The road from Ganta to Tapata is bad. Some of the bridges cannot even support the kind of equipment that he's going to be bringing. So mobilization alone going to take at least 2 to 3 months for him to get all his equipment on ground. I'm just giving you some little bit. So by that time, you have already had some sort of a negotiation with people owning land in that area that he wants to rent from, where he's going to keep his equipment. The equipment he's going to put on this I think you people are not thinking about. Oh, we're going to build road. We're going to build road. Those diesel, those mechanic, those things that are going to come, they're going to have mechanical problem. Who's going to fix it? Do they have garage in the area? No, they're going to set up their own stuff. What is the environmental impact as the oil start leaking into the soil that most likely going to find its way to the drinking water somewhere down the line? What are you going to do? Do you have the environmental impact analysis done? No. You're just going to build a road. So you're done building the road. The place is the roofing in, but the place the equipment's parking all messed up. All diesel smelling everywhere. And people in total, they're happy because they got road. But that place, you don't pass that place, the place so stink. But the water, the chemicals going down. The effect. You know, when I went home recently, you know, one of the things about education also that is bad is that you tend to see a lot of stuff. When they were building the road, before I was even born, they used to have a place. Because when I was born, little, my mom used to tell me this is where the caterpillar, the cotton caterpillar and tenant pole then used to pack. But that place up to this point, you go there, you will see the diesel marked still there. And the little creek that old diesel and oil gravitate went down there, seep into that place. The place is the creek is so bad, nothing growing there. That's the result of not being able to implement environmental aspect of the future. Think about it. How many people from Total that have gotten sick from those kinds of stuff? People who immune system is not good enough have gotten sick because of that kind of thing. They don't know. We want to build roads. These type of conversation can only happen through genuine dialogue, through understanding among ourselves. Because if we have this kinds of understanding, we would take precaution. We would advise those who are going to be doing these things. How do we do it? The government would take role in it to say we want environmental people to be involved. We want construction people to be involved. Not just say we're going to build road and leave it like that. They're much, much more involved than just building roads. Okay? So I'm just telling you this afternoon, if we continue to have these kinds of information, insulting each other, we don't have room to discuss. Let me throw one thing out here and then I'll be taking phone call. Okay. Last one. Folks, Samson to Lebanon Public Radio. Let me go back to Mahamadou Bungungu from Burkina Faso. This is a guy, and President we are. He's the guy that's going to be doing most of the road, not most, but the road, Tapata, Zwadru, then Total. Why do I say Total? Total is my town. Let's put it that way. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm from Total, Grand Jide County, one of the best cities in the whole world. Total. You don't believe it? Go there and tell me whether Total not better. No, but I'm very serious now. Okay? This man, I've been following him. I've been looking at some of his stuff. It's very impressive. Very impressive. So once this loan business with all these things are all settled, I hope this man will do a good job. Because if you look at some of his previous project, the only thing that I have problem with, I think I told you guys the last time, is the safety aspect of his road construction. Because if you follow all of the video, most of his workers, they don't wear hard hat. The only wear hard hat is some official is coming on the site and they're going to be doing TV promotion or what have you. But once the people, nobody wear hard hat. That's not safe. Can you imagine us something to involving designing a run? Somebody died because of construction people not wearing hard hat. I don't want that on my record. Okay. So Friday, I'll come back again. Hopefully, I'll try to, peruse the Facebook, and hopefully my brothers and sisters that are listening, perhaps they will take cue from this, and let's not insult people. Let's discuss the issues. What exactly are we angry about? Why? In fact, I won't even use the angry. I won't even use the word angry. What exactly are we opposing? Things you don't like, there are ways you can say it. Okay. So, folks, something to Labron Pablito. I don't want that. Okay. Let me go on to put on a number here and see if you can call me. Samson to Labron Pub Radio. This is my number. Give me a call and let's have a discussion. See if you have any question or anything. But please call, and I'm not in the mood to accept people criticizing other people because they X, Y, and Z. They don't know nothing. I'm not a professor. I'm not an English professor. I can't tell you, say the person can't speak or the person need to do this or that. So give me a call, 916-533-2048. I have the phone in my hand, and usually when I have the phone like this here, that means I'm only going to be here for another 5-10 minutes. I'll be out. Okay, that's the phone order. Let me see. Oh, okay. Give me a call. Okay, it's on. It's on. Let me see if somebody says something on you. No, I don't. Okay. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. Folks, basically what I'm saying here tonight is this. This is what you have to understand while I'm waiting for your phone call. This is what you have to understand. We're in this together. No matter what, we're in this together. Because here's what we're not going to do. The war came. Somebody calling me. All right. Okay. Hello, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Are you calling me for Liberian Public Radio or are you calling me for something else?
Oh, I'm calling for Liberian Public Radio.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, some of us, we owe plenty of money. We owe so many money. We're running away from debt collector. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, Mr. Toll, this is Christopher Tobati. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for educating us all. Like you always been doing, I want to say thank you again. Mr. Toll, you have been explaining this thing over and over. I believe that or many of our brothers and sisters are tuning in now, following the show. So everything you have said tonight, again, I've added to our knowledge. I think as we move forward, many of our brothers and sisters back home will understand exactly where we are heading. You know, like you always told us, you say we can disagree, we can come from different political institutions, but if the project is to benefit the masses, we must go ahead and support it. You know, and that's how politics is supposed to be. That's how we're supposed to practice and adopt ourselves as intellectual people and people who love politics. You know, in America, there's a tool whether you don't have a Republican, if we're supposed to build a federal highway, what Republican and Democrat will come together and do that work or support that job or that project. And so Liberian politicians must understand that. We can have our political differences, but when you need be, for something like a building road connectivity, road is economic, it's money. The good road you get, the good business will flow in your country. Your people can get from point A to Z. You know, so I want to say thank you again tonight, my dear uncle and father, for explaining to us in depth and for educating we the Liberian people. And I know that one day, if this whole project is completed, I know our people will be delivered, you know. And I want to commend you and your staff for doing this work, because we're not paying you people. You are doing this thing free of charge. And if we have the society tool in Liberia, I believe all our problems will be solved, you know, because we have for some time, so we have seen that you come on this network and you say that I am a liberty party thing. You know, I support liberty party, but my party lost, and we will move the country forward. You know, and if the person is doing something that I'm supposed to find necessary or important for the masses, the general good of the public, I will support that idea. And you are very pleased. I want to say thank you again tonight, and let me give other people a chance to come and let their voices be heard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. That's the voice of Tabasi, of course. Thank you, Mr. Tabasi. We appreciate it. All we're saying this thing is both sides. So let's be prepared to make sure the way if other people need to cooperate and accept whatever is coming, I think we need to do more of explaining than defending. So let me take okay, Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio. What's your name and where you're calling from? Okay, Mr. Yara. Good evening. How you doing, Chief? Oh, not bad. Go ahead. Hold on 1 minute, Mr. Yara, please. Okay. Now go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I say, first of all, let me begin with extending my, gratitude to you for the way you espoused on the engineering issue as it relates to building roads in our country. And, you couldn't have said it better than the way you said it. I think the only thing you kind of left, or you didn't want to be kind of political that much. But the bottom line is that President Weah depends on a lot of people that he puts in position, that he appoints to certain key positions, and to help him deliver. President Weah does not know everything. And if you expect President Weah to know everything, we know he's not an engineer, we know he's not a doctor, we know he's not a teacher, he's not a professor, and we know all those things. So he put people in key position based on their credentials, based on their expertise, or based on whatsoever reason. He saw fit to appoint those people. So I think going forward, we'll be dragging these guys' feet to the fire, because obviously the president is the head and the box starts with him, and the burden is on his shoulder. So everywhere and every time you will hear people, the president not doing this, the president not doing this, the president not doing that right. The question we have to ask is that, who are those guys behind the scene? Who's supposed to be doing this job? Okay, the president is not an engineer who's supposed to look at contract or design or construction plan. But equally so, the president is the one the Liberian will be looking forward to bring the message. So if these guys are not working overnight, while the president is sleeping and they have to go to sleep, they're sleeping, then we get nothing. Out of the 6 years the president will be in power, we'll not get anything besides lip service and big talks and all that kind of stuff. And we saw this happening before. The records have been played before. The movie has played before we saw it. It's not strange. People come with enthusiasm, they take leadership, and they say all the good things. At the end of the day, time runs out and nothing is accomplished. So I recommend the fact that you can drag the Deputy Minister for Technical Service, in a very, very tender way, you drag into the discussion. And I like the way you said you don't mean to, challenge his credential or his expertise, but obviously he is the one supposed to guide the president, especially when the president is is going around discussing these things. You know, the president can stand one people and tell people, look, I want to make sure in the next 3 years to get the roads. In fact, when I'm taking loan from people, anybody tell me, you know, they want to give me a loan or build a road in 6 years, I tell them no. I only want people who can do it in 3 years. It's not realistic. And you just give simple factors. You didn't go into detail of the engineering, civil engineering, or whatsoever construction engineering aspect. You only spoke about the geographical location of our country, our own, and when it comes to our own kind of seasons we have, the kind of soil we have in the country. Those are things you just touched tonight. And these are things a sound engineer will look at and make the person to make informed decision. You broke 3 years down into 1.5 years, and you're right. I saw somebody writing, oh no, you're lying. People get built rain season. Where did build rain season here before? Even in the great United States, where the people get all the equipment, they don't build rain season. So it needs to speak about Liberia in what we have, what we call the mangrove, kind of environment, where our soil, very, very soft and all kinds of things. So you were right. So going forward, these guys, the president appoint, they need to help President Weah to I mean, it's still early. We're talking about less than 6 months. But the early signs of anything, and it tells what will come later. Okay, it can be a determining factor. It can be a prediction, a predicting factor. Why it cannot be exactly, what is expected. But yes, you can predict from what you see today. You can predict what you expect tomorrow. So when you guys take these big positions and they just decide to sit down and they let the president go around and struggling hard to let the people know what he wants to do, and he giving people the wrong information, then all the blame comes on him. Only few people will understand that the president is not affordable because he doesn't have experience in those things. You should have consultation with these people before you go around to make discussions. And they got to say that, like you said, he was sitting there, the president made a comment. We don't expect him to stay in the public and debunk the president. But at least, come up with something that people will know that, the president is enthusiastic. He wants to see the country develop. However, technical know-how here is that, the president coming will not be, the people should not expect the things to be done, in the time the president is discussing these things. Then you ease down the tension. The president is saying, like, firmly, he going around telling people he will build a road in 2 years. The first that comes to anybody's mind is that he's being informed by the engineers he got. Through the Ministry of Public Works or whatsoever, that they can get a road in 3 years. And like you say, I agree with you. Somebody can go out and get a road in 3 years. Is that the kind of road we want? How long that road, what the lifespan of that road would be, what the design would be, how advanced the road would be. Those are the questions people will ask. So I agree with you somewhere or the other. Okay. And again, we have to drag these guys feet to the fire. These guys who the president appoint and give these big positions. Why it is true they are Liberians, they are entitled to get jobs. But once they tell the president, look, I'm a chemist, and they hire you to do a work of a chemist, do the work of the chemist, brief the president periodically, especially when he's going to be discussing anything about chemical in the country. So he can be well informed, and when he speaks to his people, feel that yes, at least somebody is feeding him with something good here. Right. I mean, realistically, there's no rule going to be doing like 3 years. But there's no rule. Right. Know that. Right. And even if the president starts today, once the rain starts, Labrador is a very dense rainforest. We know that when rain starts in our country, the next 5 months, rain will fall every day. Okay? When our country is dry, the grass in the next 5 to 6 months, the country is dry. And that's the time the construction team will get a chance to be out there. So we know those things. Right. Okay. So I agree with you, and when you spoke about Eugene Fagon not functioning, the information myself, I agree. That's one of the shows and one of the things I spoke about. Why the street is not engineering is the first person for the government. People give government propaganda messages. So get in contact with each people, they brief you, then you speak to the issue and make reference to the express. Right. According to the public work minister, according to this person, according to that person, then you're keeping the people abreast instead of taking your time. Getting on Facebook, using government time, calling people, parasitic, plasmodium, sycophants, nicotine, all those kinds. Today, I just heard him again, he was speaking about coming to report, article in Arizona Cummings statement, Arizona Cummings made doing one program over there. All the men still out of Liberia, Nigeria, he didn't have nobody. The making who you want to compare with George Weah, he would not selling Coca-Cola back here. Look at you call it a government propagandist.
Okay, all right, Alex.
Yeah, the purpose. So because President Weah is I mean, I would tell you, President Weah got a very good heart. He wants to steal Liberia, and you know, he wants to this particular broken record. He wants to face it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And one credit I give the brother here is for him to even muster that resolve to look at these things as problems that bring them to the table, the raw issue.
Right. Right.
You know,
Okay.
so people around him will definitely do work. And I think when you're having these shows, please don't be afraid. Call the guys to point. Call their name. When you discuss anything about agriculture, let the agricultural man be put in the limelight. When you discuss anything about electricity, look at the bank. Just to conclude, Mr. So, look at the bank. Look at the currency issue. You got two currencies running concurrently, our local currency and the US dollar. You don't think who is the bank governor knows that causes inflation easily?
Right. Okay.
He knows that.
All right.
Why is he
Okay, Alex.
on these things?
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. Let me take this other stuff. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think you made a good point, and I think as usual, you always do anyway. So I'm not that surprised. Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, folks. Give me a call, 916-533. I think we all have interest here. But basically what I'm trying to say here again, let me just make the point. And it's not my determination to degrade or put somebody down or challenge somebody, what have you. No, I'm just pointing out things that should be done. And if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Mr. So, good evening. What's on your mind, Chief? That's my boss, folks. Go ahead.
Brown too. You know, sometimes we don't get along on issues, but you know, this everybody get their area, and exactly that's your area. And the only thing I feel a little bit bad was that, and that's what Ella said. You need to point out you're too diplomatic. I remember a couple of months ago, this refugee senators are on public works. All right, that's why we here for Liberia, we try to do it differently. And sometimes we try to do it because sometimes we see some comment here as you know, some of you, the professional, when it comes to doing certain things, you're not working. That's not true. I remember we connected with this guy here, and you told me, so how can we get it? And we called him, we did everything. You even asking, you know, to you are going to volunteer your services, you know, to look at some of these things here. But just what you said, unless our people too, they can open up. Because it's like if you are not part of them, you can be part of the process now. And that's not how it is. There are certain work here, it requires professional people. Liberia is a savannah land. You know, how somebody running here when we get it financing, what are you talking about? We can't build a road. You know, it's like somebody just going to go to bed. The sister river that I look at it, I'm engineering, right? The first of all, please, that I look at one day, I went first. I said, look, how you know why? It better let me walk. Because the smaller car said, I was afraid. You see everything how it looks like. I can't remember when last they even carry on inspection. We are not only the government responsible, but there are a lot, which of course people don't know. But I'm happy that you come here some of these things, and the program to be coming soon on Saturday to live. I think it will help to, you know, have some real genuine discussion. And the good thing is our article of incorporation is being finalized today in Liberia. Wow. So in the next coming days, we finally, hopefully the lawyers work out the stuff. We're going to pick it up tomorrow to go to Cameroon and other places. And as soon as that gets in place, we're going to make sure we document everything in good fight. We will start broadcasting, folks will start broadcasting, and I think that's when we really want to engage. We all our country want the right thing to be done, but people, like you said, people need to be honest, and that's what is lacking. But you know why you nail it tonight, so big time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, folks, those of you that was writing, because I have not been having the opportunity to read, but let me just tell you this. You know, I always told you, this area, I'm political students, new politics. I ran away from criminal justice because I thought criminal justice was just something that it was not challenging. Let's put it that way. So I ran away from that. It was just too much for me. Too much book. I like to do stuff, but on a very serious note. We have an area here. If you go on Google and type in I-5 in Sacramento, Downtown Sacramento, I-5, okay? And that particular type of part of Sacramento, I-5, I believe is 6-lane. What is it? Yeah, 8-lane, 4 going, 4 coming. And they have a divider, barrier dividing the road. But that particular section of I-5 right near the basketball court, the Kings basketball area, that particular section, they call it the boat section because it's lower than the Sacramento River. Okay, so but there was a problem. They were having some serious problem here, and they have with this company called CC Meyer. Now, when they did the discussion, the construction is supposed to last more than that. But what did the government do? This is what they do. The government decided to escalate. Now, you can't do a construction project if you're going to be escalating it. You can do that. But guess what? For example, if you were paying $1 million a mile, if you're going to escalate, you're talking about 2 point something million a mile. Because that means the man working 24 hours. So everything is going to be double. You're escalating it. Depends on the number of you want for the project to be escalated for. Okay? So if you think you can build road for 3 years, you can do that. But the $420 million will not be, it will not even be enough to build a 10 point something mile from Town to the border. Unless you're going to put road down and expect something to have the same kind of road you had when you were little. So please don't come make yourself look like somebody you don't know anything. How you would write something like this among your brothers and sisters? If you don't have anything to say, don't do it. Don't do it unless you're using a fake profile. But even if you're using a fake profile, deep inside of you, you know what you're doing is not correct. Don't do that. Talk to us. Write something decent. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask me a question. Call my number and ask your question. I don't want people to just come and agree with me. I want people to come and challenge me. Why I'm saying these things. And you're a grown-up person, you're an older person, whoever you are, and other people that are watching, listening, put me to the test. Ask me, Mr. To, why you think we're not able? Why are you saying that? And I will tell you. Because here's what you don't know. And I'll just give you a little one. I'm not going to go deep into it because it'll be like I said, I told you the last time. An educated person. I'm not saying I'm an educated person because I'm from Total. I don't know anything. But an educated person, from what I've been reading, what they say is this. Somebody who has the ability to speak to a particular audience, recognizing your audience is one of the most important things. Because then perhaps you will tailor your conversation towards the understanding of the audience. Because the reason why you want the audience to understand what you say, so that perhaps you will have some participation. If they are not participating, they will be able to grasp what you're saying. You don't want to talk to the people and you have a doubt in your mind, they're leaving you, they don't understand what you're saying. Then what is the purpose? And I think I'm doing my best. So if you come out here and I've said something, you don't agree with it, you have my number, give me a call. If you feel calling me is not a right thing to do, because I don't go and read these things, because I think for me reading these things is not healthy for me, because we're all human beings. I don't want anybody cussing me and I say the person go free. We're all Liberian. You think you'll cost me free and you go free for what? What do you think I stay with you? No, I'm just kidding. You say whatever you want to say. But the point here is this. If I come here and face the camera and I'm talking to you, I'd expect myself to be truthful. Now, there have been some times here that I will come out and make some statement, and then when I listen to it, the next time I'll come and make a correction. Because first thing is this, I'm not big enough to eat crow. That's one thing I want you to understand. This face, there's no shame in the face here. I can't put myself with it, because most of you that have been watching, on a Wednesday afternoon, you got work to do. You're tuning in to me. At least what I can do, since I don't got money to pay you, is to be truthful with you. If I don't know, I don't know. The dangerous person is person who know they don't know and pretend to know. Then you're bad. That's the point. So if you have questions, give me a call. This is not the only time. We'll bring more shows. Write your question if you don't have time today. But if you come out here and write something where other people are reading your writing, and obviously they know you're limited, because from what you're writing, I'm saying something that everybody says, okay, well, this one a little bit mixed. I'm not saying that I'm smart, but I'm saying something. Maybe people say, oh, they want a little bit mixed. Something so stupid. But anyway, at least they little part making sense. Then you say everything that I'm saying don't make sense. And people say, but wait now, my brother, why you can't get in a little bit said? Eh. But you have the right to do whatever you want to do. So let me tell you this, and this is just a little bit. Do you know what they call excavator on a project, on a job site? It's one of those boom, look like they can be digging. Okay, you gotta crawl a day, go and pick up. When you pick up, it turns around and put it in the dump truck if they're gonna be excavating, and they're taking the dirt away. In construction, you calculate. They have a book that tell you the turn of angle, how long it's gonna take an operator, efficient operator, picking up, putting the dump truck, and the dump truck going to dump, coming back. All of those things are taken into consideration when you're doing your estimate. Based on those things, we come out as an engineer. Based on those type of calculation, we say this is how long it's going to take this project. The mere fact that the human being is sitting in that machine, the person first we take into consideration the fatigue aspect. This person might be tired. Maybe he will be efficient today, tomorrow he might not. So what percent you want to give him? And the book gives you percentage. And you go through all of the materials. Okay, you get this job. Where am I getting this material that I'm going to put down? How far is it? How long will it take my truck to pick up, come back, dump, go and get some more? You do all of those things. And then you come out with the days. They call it working days. And some people don't work Saturday and Sunday unless you want to pay overtime. So you can't just get up and say we can build this thing because you got the money. No, it doesn't work like that. Because if you do that, you're not even going to spend the money efficiently. You're going to be lavishing the money. And you will not get good product. That's the point that I want you to see. I don't say, you want to build it in 3 years? So some of the area that you're going to be working, they're all wet. What equipment you're going to do to dry the place? And how deep you want that water to be dry from? They got equipment called well points. You put your well points down, how deep you want to go. Cover dam if you're building the bridges. Okay, I'm putting and one of the good things that I give Liberia, in the dry season, the water thing can be dry. So you don't need a lot of cover dam. You don't need a lot of blocking water and what have you. You can do a good job. There's an incident where I work. It was an incident. An engineer. He said so many things. I'm telling you these things here because I've experienced in it. An engineer decided they were going to build a bridge. Where do you put a bridge? Usually, you put a bridge over the water. So he decided he wants survey during dry season. So they gave him survey. The water table was low. So he gave these people, the contractor, in his estimate, he did not take into account that if it starts raining, the water table is usually higher than the foundation. He did not take into account that when it starts raining, the water table most likely goes straight to the top of the almost the piers. He didn't do all of those things. So he estimated with low ball, they call it low ball, with low amount. He didn't take the other stuff into account. They get a contractor. The contractor looked at it. You know what the contractor did? Smart guy. He won a job site and started looking at the leaf He eyes nobody. He look at the leaf around. When you watch some of my video when I was doing it, when I was going to total, one of the things that I know that how and where the water is, I look at the leaf. If it rain, the water for the area is high. Your water table, your last water table, always leave mark on the trees. Always will leave marks on the leaf. Because the water, if they place a water stop, you will find that leaf. So the guy went start looking at the leaf and say, oh, this thing is the water table. When it rain, it can come up here. He didn't say nothing. He started digging. 2 days later, into the construction, heavy rain came. He said, oh, change of condition. I'm not even going to do change order. Change your condition. And if it's up, you tell, just like me. I gave you a cloth to sew for me. Our 95 pounds, I gave you the clothes to sew. In the process of you sewing, I come back to you at 200 pounds. Change your condition, Mr. Something to you bad. But those are the kinds of change your condition. That was not taken into account. Guess what? And people say, no, we're going to pay you. And I say, okay. He even go to court, arbitration. And they said, you better pay them, man. They pay money. Those are the kinds of stuff you're talking about. To build road in Liberia for 3 years. What kind of road are you talking about? It's the road for 3 years. You don't have no drainage. It's not going to be a road. You put it on like it's not a driveway. Some of you just think about driveway as the road, as though that's the road. Or road construction is not driveway. Where you just dig small and put a dirt and put a cement over and that's it. No. Road construction. Who are the people that are going to utilize the facilities? What maximum truck that are going to utilize this facility? How many wheels that are going to utilize the facility? What is the weight of the truck that are going to utilize the facility? For which I have to design for the structure section. You're talking 3 years? Well, you can't be serious for a minute. You think that just something that come overnight? All of these things should have been taken into account. Explain these things to the president. The president has the authority. Say, Mr. Toh, I don't want all these things you talk about. I don't care for them. Just go build a road for 3 years. I'll give him the road for 3 years. But guess what? His reputation is on the line. Yeah, mine's on there too, but I'm giving the order by the president. And I will make sure that Liberian people understand that this is what the president wants. And knowing from the little bit that we have seen Mr. Weah, do you see Mr. Weah putting road down that he knows very well that it's not going to last more than 2 years? Why you can't be serious, man? I come over here and try to tell you, writing the kind of thing. But good luck. Folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, let me get out of here. But before I go, let me read your comment here. This, ooh, wow. What a lot of writing. Well, no, that's not what people say. I'm not even going to respond to that. Okay. All right, guys. First of all, I want to appreciate those of you that took time to write. I haven't read through everything, but those of you that even took time to write, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish, one of the things that I will hope, I wish we were able to graphic all of these things, all of the writing and the numbers, put it to YouTube, because then YouTube can give us some serious contract. Okay? But basically, let me just recap the whole thing. I'm not here tonight to degrade anybody or to challenge anybody's credentials. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm about. The point of me bringing client language name in it, because I know as an engineer, you can't build a road almost like a fresh road. Because any road from Totan to BI It's going to have to be almost like from the beginning, because all of the drainage system they have, those, I just came from there. I drove that road. All of the drainage systems they had when I was growing up, they're all gone. You're going to have to tear them up and put another one in there. So all of those things, and don't tell me, say, because it's dry season, you don't see, if it rains, that place has already been established. Since God made the earth, that place has already been established that when it rains, this is where that water is going to go. Unless you're going to diverge the water, take it somewhere else. So you're going to provide drainage for all those other areas. And those are things you have to take into consideration. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not here to degrade anybody. I'm just saying, as an engineer, I just don't see why somebody would say they want the road in 3 years. I'm not too sure if they're talking about a coastal highway either. Because coastal highway, 3 years, I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm just talking about Total to BI. I'm not even touching Tapeta to Zadru. I'm not going to touch that one either. Okay? So even if you decide you want to use alignment, when we say alignment, what is there now? That straight line alignment. If you want to use the same alignment that is there now, you still have to do some work, because some of these curves, they're not up to standard. Number one, unless they want to do the same thing Carter to Maria Carter Highway, the curve, the same curve Tommy Bolanda is still there. That danger is still there. Most of the curves over there, there's no sight distance. When you're driving, you can't even see ahead of you. You gotta blow your horn because the other car coming, somebody taking over somebody on the curb. You don't want accident, so you gotta blow your horn. It shouldn't be like that. There should be clear sight of distance. They call it sight distance. You stay somewhere you can see everybody on the other side. Okay, no super elevations. Okay, so if you want to bring those things to standard, you're gonna do that. But if you want to keep it the way it is, just go ahead and put whatever is on there. You can even do it in 1 year. No big deal. All of your hole, you just cover it up. You don't even have to temper it. You don't even have to compact it. Just cover it up, roll it a little bit, put an asphalt on it, and you can do it in 2 weeks. No big deal. You can build a road in 1 day. But if you want a decent road, 2 years, 3 years is not enough. Samson told folks, I just want to thank you again and say thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful conversation between us. To those, my brothers and sisters that are listening, please, let's keep our head up. All we try to do, it's not like Samson Topa, he's like talking too much business. Yeah, he want to go home. Yeah, he just here talking all day, talking. He can't do nothing. Yeah, I agree with you too. I feel bad for myself, but that's not how it works. Republic of Liberia. They say Republic of Banana of Liberia. They have system. That's a system we're all trying to defend. They have system. Because I think I know this, then I should just go impose myself on those people. No, you don't do that. First of all, if you do that, you lose respect. You go over and begging for a job, you lose respect. Number one. Secondly, if they don't want you, there's nothing you're going to do to get you over there. Nothing. They don't want you. So you stay out. So what I'm doing here, I hope people are watching. And I'm not insulting anybody. So why is it that people will not listen? So you don't have to employ me. You can take a little bit here and say, okay, what Mr. Toad said the other day, we're going to apply that. What's wrong with that? Samson Toad, LIBERIA Public Radio. Folks, it's been a wonderful, wonderful day. Samson Toad with no glasses. The glasses are on here. That's just something that I can sit about 5 feet away. But if I go anything more than 6, 7 feet, I can't see. My glasses broke. See it? Let me show you the broken glasses. See it? There's a piece here. I'm supposed to go to my eyeglass doctor to eye doctor for them. You see the pieces? For them to fix it. I don't want to travel around. I don't want to get outside the house. So anyway, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Folks, good evening. Thank you very much. Let's do it again Wednesday. But tomorrow, turning to Mr. So Show. Mr. So pointed out something here that I don't want to just glass over. I want to thank him very much. So thank you very much. In fact, as I stated, let me just take 1 or 2 minutes to tell my brother thank you. This young man been working hard. Mr. So, he's my brother. He's my little brother. So those of us that are older, you don't find yourself gravitating to your little brother being friend with them. Only a few of us can do that. And they're young themselves. But when they took me, they didn't take me to say, oh, you are our big brothers. We talk. You know, they respect me. They know I'm their big brother. But if there's some sense we have this, like Brown Public Radio, he's our boss. I've always made reference to that. So whatever he wants us to do, it's not because I'm older than him, and therefore I should say, oh, you can't say that to me. If I'm doing something that is not right, he will tell me. And I expect that of him. If we want to improve the situation on LIBERIA Public Radio, we should be able to respect the rules. So quite recently, I apologize to him, but I want to do it here publicly. Quite recently, and this is some of the things that I keep saying about us. Not like people like me, I can't say all the kind of things that I say, I can't make mistake. Something happened on Monday, family issue, and I call him. So I won't be able to come on tonight. Can you send him for me? And he jokingly said something. At the kind of time you are working for CNN, you will tell CNN I'm coming almost 1 hour before time. And I laugh about it. I took it, something. But guess what? Within the next 10 minutes or so, he was able to put something up for public to know that Samson Toe was not coming on. That's really shook me. Because I didn't think like Brown Public Radio were at that point where Mr. So would take time to inform the audience. Yeah, well, how can no, he said. People are watching. And these are our family. We have to treat them as such. Mr. So, I hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much. And I promise the next time, if I have any kind of emergency, family issue, or whatever, I will do my best. Even if I don't inform you ahead of time, I will do just like you did, inform the public. And those of you that was writing, where's Mr. Toe? Thank you for your question as well. You hold us. We're trying to hold joy. We are then feet to the fire. Then we ourselves will put blanket all over our feet. You see what I'm going? We put blanket all over ourselves to cover our feet so fire can't touch us. No. Take that blanket off my foot and put the fire there too. But I want to thank all of you. Mr. So, thank you very much. Nathaniel Cry, your comment was also appreciated. Mazula, thank you as well. And of course, Mr. K also made that comment. I want to thank all of you. I'll do my best. We'll continue to improve ourselves. And lastly, but not the last time, Mr. So, thank you for your leadership. The LIBERIA Public Radio hopefully will be opening here very shortly in Liberia, where we will continue to bring the platform to Liberia and let people in the diaspora voice be heard. But I hope that you will do everything in your power as well. That we don't just do people calling on the phone. That you're able to provide a mechanism that will allow us to use people video. Not the Facebook, somebody's talking to me above my head. I want to see side by side. I want to be able to move the person around. The technique is there. The technical aspect, Nathaniel can help us with that. But with your leadership, if you point to that, we will gravitate towards it. Thank you, folks. Let me get out of here. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good night to all of you. Let's do it again Friday. And Friday, I'll do my best to bring some more video of this guy that's supposed to do the work for us. Thank you. Good night, folks.
mon amant. Hey, mon amant. Hey, mon amant.
Ateito, ateito, ateito. Nalukio na kati ya Kinshasa mobimba mama e. Nabandi na foire fikine. Nakoti na sine paladume, nakoti na raki. Nakoti na sine palase, nakoti na belevu. Naleki na tipeka e, nakoti na endetwae. Ateito, 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 ateito mon amour. Hey, mon amant, maman, mon amant. Hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, mon amant. Mama aneito, naponi o mama aneito. Hey, mon amant. Janine amelo, nalingi o mama amelo. Hey, mon amant. Elongi na yo ekati me mote manga na kolela. Hey, mon amant. Loposo na yo esilisinga mayelenga na kolela. Hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, mon amant. Zambe aneito, naponi o mama aneito. Hey, mon amant. Janine amelo, nalingi o mama aneito. Hey, mon amant.